It's so lovely that you're here. Welcome back to the Bionicle Inspiration series. Today, we're just doing a classic fun episode. We're going to be talking about different TOA mocks today and showing you a bunch of different ways that you could approach building a TOA if you want to build a TOA character from the Bionicle universe. Let's dive into our first example of a fantastic TOA mock on the show where we spotlight Bionicle mocks to give you some inspiration. This one is by Serotonin and this is Ord. Now, this is a really, really rare mask. It's worth about $100, or actually even more than that. It was about 150 Australian dollars when I looked at it. It's an expensive mask. And it's only expensive in dark blue. If it comes in black, everyone's got one. But, yeah, not so cheap. Always cool, though, to see rarer masks in use on Bionicle mocks. And the dark blue here works really well up against this beautiful gold armor. Now, a lot of these gold pieces here come on the old Technic C3PO set, which was a very different take on construction, but it'd be interesting if Technic did more Star Wars stuff in the future. I'd like to see that. Hopefully a little bit better than these sets, because some of them looked a little weird, but I think C3PO is actually a good example of one of those sets. Anyway, I love the visual consistency of using these smaller Technic panels in gold from that set on both the legs and the torso, but also there's a few bigger ones here as this kind of loincloth. And the loincloth, I think, is especially good. There's something about those pieces that just works so well in that area. I love how that looks. I also really enjoy seeing these thinned out limbs on this character. There's something very clean about that. It's very nice. Thinning it out by just kind of using that tube piece and an axle and like a couple other different pieces there, I think it just has always made a really nice design. I love seeing different people put that on their Bionicle mocks. It's a somewhat common thing to see these days. Yeah, sometimes people will just use like an unarmored CCBS bone piece instead. Something I really like about that look, and it looks phenomenal here too. It makes for a great aesthetic. This hammer is also very nice. I love these pink highlights all throughout it there. That surprising pop of color there works very nicely. You know, I was saying before, I love that dark blue and the gold, but suddenly that little hint of pink, ooh, very nice. So this is a fantastic little TOA mock here. Great work, Sarah. And now Rubylax Mock has built Ace TOA of Acid. Some incredible ornamentation on this mock. I love seeing these gold Chima wings on the waist, and then also combining it up top with some of these minifigure hands, some claws, some Exoforce robot arm pieces. All this detail really adds up. It is a very nice addition. I think, ornate little details like this, it's always fun to see them. It reminds me of really like highfalutin fantasy armor that you would see on a, very high up, important, regal-like character. And that's what you would see on a character like this. So putting it on a mock like this, you get the sense that this character has those traits as well. They're a very highfalutin knight, or a very well-renowned person, or maybe just someone who has a lot of money and bought some cool-looking armor. Either way, I think it's a really great addition there. It's also a joy to see not one, but two of the second generation of Bionicle masks used on this mock. Both of them have that great trans-marbled effect on them where it shares two different colors. Adding one as the actual mask and then another as like torso detail, that's so cool to see. Since this is also a TOA of acid, all those transparent pieces there, they're very fitting to convey the elemental power that they control. I also love seeing those Meltdown canister pieces, of course, from this Hero Factory set, Meltdown. Seeing them used as part of the leg design is just a great choice. And again, it ties into the color scheme that is put all throughout this mock with those translucent pieces up against the beautiful dark green and gold. What a gorgeous color scheme. And again, going back to that, a really clever looking leg design there. This is a super fun mock with some fantastic techniques all throughout it. Really cool. Also, look at that axe. What a fun weapon. Very appropriate. I love it. Kutorak has built TOA Chiara the Lightning Sapphire. What a cool name. Okay, so this mock has some pearl sand blue parts on it. It's so nice to see obscure pieces like this in action. Now, this color only comes on the old Technic Super Battle Droid set, which was actually a really cool set. I'd love it if they made it in any kind of Super Battle Droid related character in modern times. That'd be great. Now, as cool as this color is, it's great to see so many of these pieces included on this mock, and I think that's the best part about this, but something that's actually slightly better is this custom mask. They've managed to match the color on this mask perfectly, just beautifully blends in with these pieces. And that's a difficult thing to do on custom masks. Sometimes the colors look just slightly off, but it looks identical here. Now, I feel like this is the perfect reason to buy a custom mask. Sometimes people are a little bit adverse to doing that. That's okay. But hey, you got all these awesome pearl sand blue parts, but no mask to go with it. They never made anything that would really work as a proper mask. Well, a third-party solution like this is the answer to that problem, and it looks so good here. The lightning pieces here obviously work for the elemental power, but are a great addition to the color scheme. They contrast very nicely. We also have some of these claw element pieces from the Eternal sets, much like this one here. You can see those wing pieces. These come in a very unique color, which is satin trans brown, and they look awesome. Thankfully, these are a bit more of a modern piece, so it's a little bit easier to get a hold of these if you want to. But yeah, we can see some of these have been thrown in here as well, and again, what a good addition, and wow, those look very similar to that pearl sand blue color. So yeah, some good choices of picking out unique colors and partnering them together in some brilliant ways. The color scheme on this is just superb. Brilliant work. Gengo Builds now has built Nuju Hordika. Oh, the Hordika, they were fantastic. You know, TOA who were injected with Hordika venom from the Visorak, and as a result, they get this horrific bestial form. Such a cool idea, and what a great way of reimagining that concept here on this mock. So here's what Nuju looked like before he became a Hordika, and then here he is afterwards as the original set here of him in his Hordika form. It's like those before and after, drug use photos. Anyway, so the set itself was great, but I think this mock takes the idea of the Hordika and turns it up to 11. The choice to use the Witch Doctor mask here, for example, and adding in that scope eye and that little grill tile for the front of the face, oh, that's really smart. I think this evokes the original idea of the mask enough, but then the choice to use that skull mask from Witch Doctor, I think it advances the idea even further. Some of the images here show the detail on that mask, and especially when it's up against some of those other pieces, the skull-like details within it start to look a little bit more like veins, or maybe even like facial scarring or something. I don't know, it just works really well, and it looks mutated, so it's a really great mask choice. It's amazing the amount of personality that goes into a good-looking face design, and this is a brilliant example of that. If you can get your face to look good on your mock, you're already halfway there for it being a phenomenal build. One of the most unique parts of this mock that really grabbed me was this sort of robot arm design. It's using some reddish-brown pieces here, which is certainly a color that stands out a lot on this design since it's primarily white-silver with little hints of sand blue there. We can see on this robot arm that there is a snowshoe piece, there's a handbag piece, and what appears to be a few whips wrapped around there. Really nice details to flesh out this arm, and when I look at this, I see it as a sort of unarmored or maybe exposed robot-like detail interior, almost like muscles or something, but like robot muscles, because it looks like, everything else has armor over the top of it, but then there's this, has this arm been replaced in battle, or is it just, no longer covered up? It's hard to say, but even still, it's nice. Or maybe this is like infected as a part of the mutation. I don't know. I like that there's a little bit of obscurity as to what that is, because, I don't know, it's cool enough to make me go, ooh, I like that, but, I don't know, it's different. I like it. And hey, even if I can't specifically pin down what it is, the choice to have all of those interesting, clever part uses on there, it looks great. Also, the red wires that are sticking out of the body and the arm, and there's even some brown wires on the legs too. What a simple but effective way of expanding the concept of this being a mutated character. That could be veins, or that could just be exposed wiring, because, Bionicles are robots to some degree. It's just a really great choice, and, even seeing it kind of poking out of the neck there to some degree too, or just a little bit of red anyway, that's another really nice choice. I don't know, a bunch of wires is actually a surprisingly great way of conveying that message of them being a mutated character. Really cool. I love too the mask on the back here and how one of those wires is connecting to it. It's like an interesting backpack design, or just kind of curvature to the back or something. I don't know. It's cool. These lower legs are also interesting. They pretty much just use the blades from Kupaka Nuva. That's so cool. It's such a minimalist design, but it works really well here. What a brilliant mock and a great way of reimagining the Visorak. The Hordika, who became Hordika because of Visorak venom. Would love to see you do a few other different characters here. It actually says on Instagram that this was built in collaboration with another builder called Oblivimox, who built Vakama. I may as well chuck a link to that mock in the description below so you can check that out there, but certainly worth looking at. Anyway, on to the next mock. Marco has built Nuparu now. Now, this is insanely cool. Look at the awesome robot arm that's going on here. We got some Visorak claws for fingers. We've got these Naira ghost blasters sticking out of the top like it's some kind of exhaust port, and smoke's going to come out of that. And then we got plenty of tubing to make them just look awesome. Yeah, this whole arm design is really, really cool. And I love these weird edited lime balls at the top here. These don't appear to be actual Lego pieces. It's just some sort of cool Photoshop editing there. But hey, nothing wrong with doing that to enhance the look of a mock. And, this is a digital mock. It's got a lot of unique parts in it, like that mask I don't believe exists. It looks like a merge of K2SO's head and Witch Doctor's mask kind of fused together to create some interesting design. And then, there's a few other different pieces here in colors that they don't actually exist in. But, hey, if you're building something digital, you can always play around with colors in cool ways. So why not also add in some weird photoshopped balls? That's a great addition. Another thing that's cool is this rib cage. I think it works really well using tubing here to form this interesting pattern on the torso. I don't know if we actually have any lime flex tube pieces that actually exist, but I kind of hope we do, because this lime rib cage here looks really cool, especially with that pop of red in the middle there, like it's some kind of, I don't know, gut sticking out. I don't know what that is, but it's cool. The legs here are probably my favorite part. I love the choice of using the Chirox weapon pieces, of course, from the Chirox set that you're seeing here. Now, these forming these interesting kind of floating feet things, so cool. It's such a shame these pieces don't come in line. They only come in silver, unfortunately. But hey, what a great leg design that we can still take inspiration from. There's no reason you can't get the silver ones and make this exact same leg design and slap it on another mock that you're currently making, because it looks super cool. And to my knowledge, nothing about it is impossible to build. It's just the colors that you can't get. So yeah, love these kind of floating legs here. Really cool concept. Now, this is actually a strange take on Nuparu, but hey, sometimes going really strange, different, out there, weird, that's when you get the really good stuff. So yeah, challenge things. Go as far away as possible from the original set concept and do whatever the heck you want. It's your world. Do whatever you make of it. No more life advice from Ben. That wasn't very good. But hey, you know what? This is a really unique mock. I love how it looks. So unique, so different, so Marco. So that's it for a bunch of TOA today. Hopefully I've given you a few ideas for designing TOA, if that's something you're working on currently. But hey, maybe there was a cool part use in this that you saw and you're like, oh, that might actually help me with my current mock. Inspiration comes in all sorts of cool and crazy ways, so hopefully some of that has reached you in some form. If you would like to see your own mocks on the show, you can submit them through the submission email that's currently on your screen right now. It's also in the description below. Also in the description below are links to the mocks that you saw in today's episode, so be sure to check out those builders. Maybe go leave a like and a comment on their posts and let them know what you think of what they built, because hey, I can't do these episodes without them. They deserve the love that you can give them. Also in the description below is links to my own social media, so you can check that out there. If my maths is correct, this is the last episode that I'm pre-recording before Brick Fair Virginia, which means I will be returning very soon. So you can expect some Brick Fair Virginia related content coming your way very, very soon. I'm sure there was all sorts of cool stuff there, and you'll be seeing it soon on the channel. Stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching. Happy building, and bye for now.